Folks, we're back at it again. Another archetype from Valiant Smashers is being revealed. This time, the Centurions, which makes up the last of the archetypes from that booster pack. If I remember correctly, the only one left was the one with the preview image of everyone saying that it was like related to Kit, even though the only connection that they had was that they both use giant machines. And at this point, cute girls piloting giant mechs is just a staple of the genre right now. We'll need a bit more connections before the lore master is ready to allow that connection to be canonized. I'm going to work on this. Anyway, Centurions. Let's see what they are all about. Centurion Primera, level 4, light spellcaster tuner monster, 1600 attack and defense. Ooh, a spellcaster monster whose attack equals its own defense. Maybe we're not so far off from the Abyss lore as I had imagined. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Centurion card from your deck to your hand, except a copy of this card, but you cannot special summon Centurion Primera for the rest of this turn. Your level 5 or higher Centurion monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects while this card is treated as a continuous trap card. During the main phase, when this card is treated as a continuous trap card, you can special summon it. Okay, so you use the Stratos effect, but you can't summon it from the back row or any other way, but presumably summon it from the back row. It counts as a protection card when it's in the back row, and then during any main phase, you can just plop it onto the board. So you could do this during your opponent's turn, summon Primera once you don't need the protection anymore, and then get a search on your opponent's turn. So that's going to be strong if there are easy ways to put it into the back row. Okay, Centurion Trudia, level 4 Dark Pyro monster, 1000 attack, 2000 defense. Okay, so their stat lines are not going to be what connects them, though they are level 4 does seem to be an important level right now. Non-tuner during your... That other one was a tuner, right? Yeah, tuner, okay. During your main phase, you can place this card you control and a Centurion monster from your hand or deck, except a copy of this card, phase up in your spell and trap zone as continuous traps, but you cannot special summon copies of these cards for the rest of the turn. And during the main phase, while this card is treated as a continuous trap card, you can special summon it, then you can increase its level by 4. Okay. So this can also summon itself for free. This one does not cause a summon restriction, but that was the last one, so that's fine. So you summon this one, put it and Primera into the back row, and then Trudea is going to be stuck there because it can't summon itself the turn you do that, but then you can summon Primera and get the search. Okay, okay. I mean, this could all change at the drop of a hat, but, you know, Moby. Always got to get in the way of these. I love that little guy. Okay, here we go. The one that everyone... the Kit lookalike. Centurion Emmett the Sixth, a level 8 Earth Machine, Earth Machine, Earth Machine, Earth Machine. 2000 attack, 3000 defense. During your opponent's turn, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, as a quick effect, you can target a Centurion monster you control except Emmett the Sixth. Place it face up in the spell and trap zone as a continuous trap card, and if you do, special summon this card. And during the main phase, if this card is treated as a continuous trap card, you can special summon it. Okay, so none of those lock out summoning for the rest of the turn, so that's pretty good. This can reset your Centurions into your back row to put this back into rotation, which is pretty cool. Yeah, not bad. Being able to, like, put Primera back into the spell trap up zone so that you can use the effect again, pretty solid, pretty solid. Oh, and I can't believe I haven't mentioned this yet, because we're putting them... No, they're continuous trap cards. They actually have no synergy with Snake Eye, because these are continuous trap cards, not continuous spell cards, so we can't use that. Okay, Centurion Legatia, level 12, Light Machine Synchro Monster, 3500 attack, 2000 defense, requiring generic material. If this card is special summoned, you can draw a card, then you can destroy the face-up monster your opponent controls with the highest attack, your choice of Tide. Your monsters with 2000 or less attack cannot be destroyed by battle. During each end phase, you can place a non-synchro Centurion monster from your hand or grave phase up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap card during each end phase. The value, though. You're not going to be able to summon it immediately because it's during the end phase, so there is a smidgen of time where your opponent can interact with it before you get to summon it, but still being able to just turbo these things out into the back row every turn to enable their special summoning effect. Not too shabby. So it's 12. So our materials are either going to be Primera and then either a Trudea that summoned itself from the back row, or just Emmet the 4th. Or Emmet the 6th, rather. Both very fetching options. Okay, Stand Up Centurion. Field spell card. You can only use the 2nd and 3rd effect once per turn. This card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's effects while you control a Centurion monster card. Once again, monster card, very important distinction there. So this will count even if we have our Centurions in the back row, because while they're treated as continuous trap cards, they are still, in fact, monster cards. So, important thing to keep in mind. During your main phase, if this card was activated this turn, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard, place a Centurion monster from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap card. Okay, not, you know. You only do it this turn. Seems weird. Although, I guess, you know, I was about to say, it's like, well, it has a cost. It seems weird it's limited, but it's like, well, having a discard outlet every turn to get your play set up, pretty strong. So, I guess it's good that they gave it a limiter. If a monsters are special summoned, you can immediately after this effect resolves synchro summon using materials you control, including a Centurion monster. Ooh, okay. So that can synchro summon anything. Oh, it doesn't even have to all be Centurions. You just need to have a Centurion involved. So our tuner, our non-tuners with just a generic tuner, that's pretty cool. And then we can slap Legatia on our opponent's turn. Which is good because because they're treated as continuous trap cards, they're inherently quick effects. So we can summon our monsters during our opponent's turn. Oh, it doesn't care who summons the monster. I'm conditioned to think these are based on our opponent, but no, we can special summon. So we can summon Trudea, not Trudea, Primera out, and then do a synchro summon afterward. Pretty gross. Pretty gross. And then we can make anything. Literally any synchro that's within our sphere. Faith of Centurion. Place a Centurion monster from your hand or graveyard face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap card. If a Centurion synchro monster is special summoned while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, then target a Centurion monster in your graveyard, place it face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap card. Well, we are just loading up the graveyard here. Holy cow. Centurion Phalanx, normal trap card. You can target one face-up monster card on the field and banish it, and if you do, special summon it to its owner's field during the standby phase of the next turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a Centurion synchro monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and if you do, it loses 1500 attack. Okay, so our only choice right now is this big bungler. Loses 15, so it's at 2000. So while it gets weaker, it does then benefit from its own battle protection, which I think I'd prefer it having a lot more attack power, but at least it's something, question mark face. This one is wild to me, though. Target a face-up monster card on the field, banish it. Because you can just use this on anything. Like, this is literally just like a power corrupt interdimensional matter transporter, except it also hits monster cards, so it can hit pendulum scales and it can hit monsters that are in the spell and trap zone. But it's like kind of better than interdimensional matter transporter because it isn't the temporary banish effect. It banishes and then special summons it back. So I mean, you could always just, like, get the card shuffled back if you hit an opponent's monster, but it will trigger any on-summon effects which don't normally work. Okay. Centurion Truth. When a counter trap card, when a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated, send a face-up monster card from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard to negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Hey! That's not just useful in Centurion. Because as it's sent to the graveyard, you're not really using it with your pendulum cards, but, you know, there's a little deck called Plunder Patrol that loves that. I guess also maybe Inzector, but then you'd be playing like an off-theme Omni-Negate for that, and I don't know if that's going to be helpful, but it is an option to consider. Reprints are Magical Planter, which makes sense. You can trade in any of your Centurion in the back row into 2 draws, and Gravity Collapse, which I believe is some kind of counter trap that stops summons, but you have to tribute like a synchro monster for it, which, if you're going to bring it back with Phalanx, isn't going to be an issue. Who is in this image? They're fighting A big dragon shadow creature. There doesn't seem to be any anything else. How about this one? Nope. Doesn't look like we have any big indicators as to who they are fighting. Okay, well, this is a pretty cool theme, not gonna lie. I know that there were some rumblings about a lot of things treating monsters in the back row as continuous spell cards because it doesn't allow for things like Jinzo to work, but now we do. I forget if any of the new cards, like, make it so it only cares if you have continuous trap cards, or if we still have to make our opponent's monsters continuous trap cards. But maybe there's some kind of synergy with that. I guess shutting off their effects with base Jinzo, though, is probably a terrible idea. So the newer cards would have to have some pretty wacky effects for it. Largely generic. There's no, like, lock on here. The only things that they lock out are summoning their same named monsters, which, ain't terrible. So we have what? We have the Stratos. We have the Enabler. One card Enabler for it. This, like, recurs our cards all the time. Does this special summon from the... Okay, no, this does not summon by itself from the back row. Though I guess you could do I guess you could use Centurion Phalanx to banish it, then get it back during next turn, which would then special summon it, which would net you a draw. And the fact that it gets you a draw when you do it is very funny. Who made this? Who decided this was a thing? I'm looking forward to seeing if there's, like, if this gets splashed into, like, non-Centurion decks, just as, like, a big old dude that draws you a card off of being a level 12 generic synchro. That's very funny. It is a light. What if we get Manadium in on this? Okay, so I'm sure there's more things I haven't considered yet. I'm absolutely positive the continuous trap card meta is losing me, so I guess I'm leaving it all up to you. What kind of stuff is being cooked up with Centurions? What did I miss? What funky, fresh combos are we accomplishing right now? What lessons can we take from Vision Heroes? Let me know in the comments. And I guess I'm calling it right now. I think this might be the best theme out of Valiant Smashers, and I say that as someone who has read Mementos, who has read Val Monica, and I think those are just a bit too janky. I think Centurion has a compact enough engine that does meaningful enough stuff to actually see some kind of play. And we likely haven't even seen all the cards for it. What is it? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's a normal... Oh, there's something between a field spell and a quick play spell, like a continuous spell, maybe? I think that's how that goes. So we've still got something right there that we don't know about that could make this deck even better, and I am super looking forward to it. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see all of you next time more wacky Yu-Gi-Oh! News stops by, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the first reactions, and I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye. Today's episode was brought to you in part by Dragon Shield. When you want to protect your cards with the power of dragon scales, get some sweet lore for them, and support the channel, check out my link in the description to get started. Today's episode was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including the illustrious Quasar Commander Green Knight, Nebula Navigator's 3rd Dynasty, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Andrew Newman, A Random Pup, Avi Chali, Kane Senpai, Chibi Gohan, Clockswork, Danny Bound, Eric, Aaron the World Breaker, Frankie, Garland Chaos, Genesis Yu-Gi-Oh!, Gloomba331, Great Big Pillock, Hairbear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Howling Zangetsu, Iskander711, John, Julius Sneezer, Mana Charge, Marluxia Zagirl, Molly Renata, Nathan Vig, Orozco09096, Panther J, Rebel King Lucifer, RJ the Jank Monarch, Sammy Haim, Sir Knight JCB, Skybuster Leo, Sophie, apparently, The Wizard Moose and Xander Wolfensberger, Cosmic Crusaders Almento 5010, Ariel Kersey, Beluga Master, Blue Gem, Callum McCann, Chaz Ghost, Corbynisms, Drachenwald, Drake and SpongeBob be like, you used to call me on your shell phone, Eki Bullock, Emily, Eva Padilla, Hike Boyagian, Herbal D, Inblink, Jester Designs, Kale the Dragon, Carp, Kevon Public, King Scarlet Yu-Gi-Oh!, Lemon Yu-Gi-Oh!, Lord Whoop-De-Doo, Manga Pages, Marion James E. Picata, Matt Simmons, Mega Combi, Michael Shimabukuro, Nadia McCarthy, Nitromo, Ruxith Sarani, Shizuka Nijimura, Star-Lord 777, Stephen Williamson, The Legendary Raven, Tucker Ordorn, Venusian Teapot, and Zaldreka, as well as the wonderful Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to be a part of these credits, help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, and participate in the monthly custom card reviews, I would be eternally grateful if you checked out my Patreon in the description or joined up as a YouTube member.